Hi, you guys, it's Wendy coming to you with a project share. I don't have anything completed per se, but I have spent the last couple of days doing some jelly prints to work to use in my other projects. I wanted to share those with you and just a few ideas about what you could use in terms of mark making for your jelly plate. So the first tool that I used was just a basic comb. This, of course, is one that I'm no longer going to use for beauty purposes, but it did make these kind of cool little marks here. So I thought that was pretty. This, I used a mesh produce bag. You can see that I had a darker color underneath, and then I went ahead and did white over the top of that. Here I used my comb again, just made some lines. I think it kind of looks like wood. Here's more mesh produce bag. Same. And then really my favorite thing with the jelly plate is being able to let old layers of paint dry so that when you put a new coat of paint on, you're getting all the little bits and things. I really like this sort of old, rustic, peeling paint sort of vibe. And so I'm always happy when I get these sort of grungier pages. This piece of paper I actually did with this piece of packaging. This was from a Trader Joe's bit of packaging, and I think initially it held mochi ice cream balls, but the bottom of the package looked a lot like leaves to me. And so that's actually kind of the vibe that it gives off when you print with it. The next print that I did, I kind of save a lot of styrofoam, much to my husband's dismay. And so first you see a background that includes paper towel, and then I used this, which is off the bottom of a styrofoam container, like a takeout container. And so this is the other side of it. So you probably could do something off the other side of it as well. But I mainly stuck with this. So there's that print. Again, just some sort of, here's some paper towel. Scribbling into the paint with my comb. This again was kind of a soft impression of this guy. You can just barely see it. This one again was styrofoam. In this case, I save and wash all meat packaging. So you can see that different meat packaging has different textures. And so this particular page was this little bumpy texture here. And so it provided basically a polka dot type domino almost effect. The only thing I didn't quite like about this was that you can see the edges of my little template there. So I don't know if I cut more away from the sides, if that would help. I'll have to try it on my next jelly printing binge. Here's some more from that little nubbly texture. Just some basic, here's some more combing. Here's that other, this guy. And here's some more of that kind of grungy texture where you really get lots of little bits of, it almost looks like decay, quite honestly. You know, it's basically some foreign paint that got pulled up. But I really like that effect. More polka dots. Here's this guy again. Got this one again. Here I have a tiny round jelly plate. I don't really like it, I guess, for this purpose, for laying down a solid color. I really need to, work with some sort of mark making tool to stamp into it or do something before I put it down. It's kind of boring. Here's some more of that kind of decayed paper look. And here I've got my mochi packaging, paper towel. Kind of looks like candy corn based on the coloring. Here's the mochi packaging. We have this guy again. So I basically just took a few styrofoams and packagings that I had been sort of hoarding and not using. And there you can actually see the brawny stamp on the paper towel, but I can always cut that out or put something over it. And we have this bit of packaging. More paper towel. The mochi packaging. This little guy, the takeout container. More paper towel. And of course I was going for fall colors. I'm hoping to put together a junk journal here using quite a few of these pages. And of course to pass some of the remaining bits and pieces on in Happy Mail. Here's kind of a pretty one with the comb where I put on a pretty wet layer over kind of a barn red underneath. I think that looks pretty. Here I've got some of the little nubbly meat packaging, and then I did some netting over the top, which I think makes it look kind of old. And then just kind of, this is probably the most boring one in the bunch with my trying to use that little round jelly plate. But yeah, I figured I would show you guys what I'm up to. I also have got the paper towels that I use to make the prints. Got a brown one and kind of a yellowish one, so those certainly might find their way into the project as well. And then finally, just as I was sort of, between prints, I made sure that I also had some little scraps of paper out so that I could just get my roller rolled off and make sure that I was, transferring any paint to some other surface. And of course, these little bits and pieces aren't done by any means, but they've got a good first layer on them and certainly are more interesting than they were. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, and hopefully all of you guys are doing well. I would say probably in a day or so I'll be back at you with a haul video. I did a little thrift store shopping a couple weeks ago, and so I might share that with you guys. But otherwise, hopefully you're having a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.